All right, so lately I've been switching workouts from 5 days to 3 days. Um, I used to go in 5 days a week, and what I would do is I would focus on mostly kind of like one body part per workout, probably up into the 6 to 8 rep range per set, 3 sets per exercise. Um, I was doing that for a while, and I found that over the course of time, um, you know, body starts to wear down. So recently, I've switched to more of a 3 day split. Um, so I train, because I work during the week and I get up early. I try to go 2 days during the week, maybe like a Monday, Thursday, and then the last workout will be on the weekend. So I try to do 3 days a week now in terms of lifting weights. And yeah, I have found that with the extra couple days in between, that I am getting stronger. I'm hitting kind of more PRs when I do that specific exercise. I'm thinking it's because of the time in between, giving my body a chance to rest. And I'm early 40s at 42, not 26 anymore. So I am finding this to be a little better in terms of recovery, in terms of getting stronger. It's helped me. So if you're somebody in your 40s and you're looking to gain some muscle, you could do it. Try 3 days a week. I'm in the gym probably too much anyways. I try to do cardio on my off days as well. So I'm doing probably like 30 minutes of cardio 4 days a week. Nothing crazy. Zone 2, and then one of those 4 days I'm doing a sprint session, probably about a 30 minutes per session. Sprint session, excuse me. So yeah, I found scaling back the lifting of the weights. I've gotten stronger. My lifts are getting better, and I am finding that I'm not as worn out going into the gym. So I'm coming in refreshed, coming in with a clear mind. I'm actually like really enjoying the workouts. So this is kind of what I've found. I've been working out for, oh man, since probably I was like, you know 18, 19, something like that. And I find this is the one time where it's really making sense, especially for my age. So again, anyone out there in their 40s, if they think it's too late, give a 3 day split a try. It's been working for me. Like I said earlier, I do work early. This fitness stuff is not my full-time job, so I'm in to my other job around 7. So I still work out most of the part fasted. But when I hit a workout in terms of weights, I do like a little caffeine before I get into the gym. I just find it gives me a little more of a boost, especially working out that early. So yeah, that's helped me. The 3 days has helped me. I've gotten stronger. I'm still sticking to kind of similar exercises. I'm not trying to deviate. So I'm still recording my workouts. I'm still tracking progression. I'm still tracking weight increases, stuff like that. So that hasn't changed. It's just been the 3 days a week. Outside of that, like I mentioned earlier, I'm doing 4 days of cardio. So 3 days zone 2, and then 1 day, usually the Sunday morning, because I'm pretty refreshed on a Sunday morning, get to sleep in just a little bit. I'm doing my 30-minute sprint session. Outside of that, my diet for the most part has also changed a bit. So I'm sure you guys have seen some of my content. Was doing the 3 meals. So I'm now trying out the 2 meals a day. I just find it's easier to stick within a calorie deficit doing 2 meals a day. So I'm trying the whole 16-8 fast. So again, in the morning I'll have coffee, some caffeine, then I'll hit the gym, and my first meal is usually in and around 11, something like that. I'm having probably a large Greek yogurt bowl. In that Greek yogurt bowl, I'm adding like collagen. I love the chocolate collagen. I'm adding some chocolate collagen, the Greek yogurt, blueberries, and I've recently been trying this powdered peanut butter from Amazon. It's so good. It's organic. I love peanut butter, and I know the calories in it are crazy high. So this powdered peanut butter actually has high protein, lower fat ratio. So it's pretty good. I mix that in there, and that protein bowl is pretty satiating. Like it usually lasts me to about mid-afternoon. The bowl, in terms of protein, is I know I add a little bit, maybe too much. It's probably about 2 cups, a cup and a half to 2 cups. You're looking at about 60 grams of protein, something like that, especially when I add in the collagen and the powdered peanut butter. That will sustain me. That carries me over to like a mid-afternoon snack where I'll maybe have an apple. If I'm really hungry, probably a cup of cottage cheese, and then I'll drizzle some like maple syrup on there, maybe a little bit of honey, and that usually ties me over till dinner. So that's kind of where I've been in terms of that first meal. Again, I've been fasting 16-8. I generally will have coffee, so it's not a true fast, so to speak. So I do like milk in my coffee. So I mean, I'm not having a true black coffee there. So I'm losing some of the benefits in terms of the fasting, but I just like milk. I just like something in my coffee. Not a huge fan of black all the time. So I'll have a coffee there. So not a true fast in that sense. And then after that first meal, like I mentioned, somewhere in the afternoon, I'll have a snack, whether it be an apple. If I'm really hungry, maybe a cup of cottage cheese, something like that. And that usually carries me over until dinner. And then for dinner, I come in here pretty hungry. My calories up to that point are probably like 400 or 500 calories up until that point. That includes the yogurt and the apple. I'm way under in terms of calories there. So this is where at dinner time I like to have a bigger feast. So here is where I'll have the protein. I mix it up. It's chicken. Sometimes it's beef. Sometimes it's pork. And then with that I'm having vegetables, something like an asparagus, maybe even rapini. And then I love my salad on the side. I'll have salad on the side. I just find that helps in terms of filling me up. And then for my starch, it's pretty simple, honestly. It's usually white jasmine rice or potatoes, whether it's regular potatoes or sweet potatoes. And with those potatoes, I'm usually putting them in the air fryer, adding a little bit of salt, and they taste so good. So that's kind of my dinner, and that's what the whole kind of day looks like. Now, there's some nights, I'm not gonna lie, where I'm really, really hungry, and after dinner, I'm not gonna lie, I do like sometimes a couple pieces of dark chocolate, so I go for the 95%. I like the higher cocoa. I just like that because it's giving me the feeling of having dessert, and I just find it's easier to stay, on track if I give myself a little treat like that. So I'm not so strict in terms of dessert. Like if I want that dark chocolate, I mean, I'm gonna have it. I'm not gonna hold back on that. So yeah, that's pretty much kind of what it looks like. There are times where if I get a little more hungry, I whip up like a protein ice cream that fills me up. But mostly it's a couple pieces of dark chocolate, and I'm pretty good for the day there. I'm in and around where I'm supposed to be for my calories. I'm still enjoying dinner. Like I'm not limiting myself there. I'm enjoying my meals. And that's a byproduct of kind of having, less calories throughout the day. And I find that works for me. So going to this whole 2 meal a day, with a snack or two in between, and then, working out with the weights three days a week, and then the cardio 4 days a week. So that's pretty much where I am right now. In terms of supplements, listen, supplements are just that. They're just supplements. I don't think they're required 100%, especially if you're trying to like save money. Times are tough right now, but I do take some right now. I mean, I like my collagen. You guys know that. I have recently dabbled back into fish oil. Just make sure it's a clean product. So I'm into the fish oils. I do love my beef liver capsules. I make sure those are from a properly, raised source, so like grass-fed, pasture raised. I'm into that whole beef liver thing. I try to take, an ounce a day with that. Vitamin D I'm on because here in Canada it is really cold, or it has been cold. Now it's starting to warm up, but I find just the lack of sunshine. So I the vitamin D and magnesium. I'm still into my spray, magnesium spray. I get it on Amazon. It's like Dead Sea salts. I spray that on my feet before bed, and that seems to help me sleep. So those are kind of where I stand in terms of supplements, and that's kind of what I'm currently doing right now. If you like more of these vlogs and stuff like this, just let me know, drop in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later.